Yo, yo, we on, we live, we lit. God made cameras, so we made TV. If you tuned in, welcome to the movement. This ain't just content though. This is purpose-driven programming because the truth don't buffer, neither do we. For the ones who overlooked, we over-deliver. Let's break it all down. Okay, so Jim Jones was recently featured on the show Art of Dialogue, and he could have signed Drake, J. Cole, and The Weeknd. So back in 2009, Jim Jones was the A&R over Koch Records and vice president. He had the power to sign, underground artists to major deals. So he said J. Cole used to come to his studio all the time back in the Gap, but he felt like J. Cole was a carbon copy of Drake, so it didn't work out for him, and he ended up passing on J. Cole. Of all artists, J. Cole. Now, when it came to Drake, Jim had heard his music and felt like he had what it took to get a deal done. But when he met him in person, he felt like he looked too much like an actor and the image wasn't working out for him, so he ended up passing on Drake too. And then he got to The Weeknd. The Weeknd, who actually ended up setting a meeting up with him, but due to Sack Bundles being killed that day, opportunity never presented itself, and the whole deal just kind of fell through the cracks. And after all that, all three of them big names, Drake, J. Cole, and The Weeknd, Jim Jones said he don't have any regrets. He felt like everything worked out in the long run. I agree, all three of them, they titans when it comes to this game. But yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think. But before we go any further, you already know what I'm gonna ask. Like, comment, and subscribe for the free 99. Let's get into this footage.
I had no idea. You could have signed Drake, J. Cole, and The Weeknd?
Yeah, definitely. See how life goes. But I do believe, like, time don't lie and shit like that, and I'm grateful that I was able to have those times and everything. But I'm also grateful to see how big of artists they have become to be. Like J. Cole used to be in my studio all the time. I can't say that wholeheartedly. And then Drake, Allen Grumblet, let me hear some of his music and shit like that. I remember that, but I kept telling him he had no image. It just was. I didn't understand it. Didn't connect, but he could rap his ass off. I remember telling Allen that. And The Weeknd, went to Canada, but that was the same day that Sack Bundles had passed away. So naturally, I wasn't in my right frame of mind. And the Weeknd opportunity is kind of, my mind was somewhere else. But shout out to The Weeknd, shout out to the whole XO family, shout out to Cash. Those are all my brothers still to this day. Word.